Hey friends, it's your boy SVH coming at you with today's bowl of Saki by Hazrat Inayat Khan for May the 9th. And I'm going to give a little preface here, a little disclaimer that I am beat. I am completely just burnt out and tired today. I haven't slept well the last 2 nights, had a really rough day today, and it's late into the evening already, and I'm just now sitting down to do this. So appreciate everybody bearing with me today. I'm going to read through this, and I'm going to follow it up with some commentary by Pir Murshid Hazrat Inayat Khan. Just don't really have the mental capacity today to really to give a proper interpretation off the cuff here today, but I do think there's some great commentary here that will definitely do far better than what I could do coming off the cuff today. So appreciate you guys bearing with me today, but here we go. Here's today's bowl of Saki. We cover our spirit under our body. We cover our light under a bushel. We never allow the spirit to become conscious of itself. When the soul is illuminated, it will desire to find some other soul illuminated in like manner, and will find great joy and bliss in its society. Such a one will surely find others who are on the verge of illumination. Even a drunkard will find others to drink with. And so it is mystically. A very little light can be turned into a flame, and that flame into a very big flame. Why is it better to become a mystic than to remain a drunkard? As a matter of fact, a drunkard will never be satisfied. The mystic will look for what Omar Khayyam calls wine, the wine of the Christ, after drinking which no one will ever thirst. He will always seek the wine whose intoxication never wears off. It is the only wine, the intoxication of the divine love. According to the belief of the Sufi, the heart is the shrine of God. And when the doors of the shrine are closed, it is just like a light being hidden under a bushel. God is love. If he is love, he does not stay in the heavens. His earthly body is in the heart of man. So I can add to this a little bit. We talk a lot in Sufism about the wine of the mystic, and the wine of the mystic being the intoxication of the divine reality. That's pretty much kind of what the bowl of Saki is, right? It's a drink from the divine bowl of wisdom, and the intoxication that comes from that wisdom is a spiritual upliftment, right? It lifts one out of a certain condition, and it lifts you into a higher understanding, a higher consciousness, a higher realization. And when you look at this statement here, why is it better to become a mystic than to remain a drunkard? As a matter of fact, a drunkard will never be satisfied. Well, those of you who have tipped the bottle back a whole lot, as I did for many years, you understand this, that you're never satisfied. The alcohol never satisfies, right? You get this temporary feeling of euphoria, or maybe a few minutes of loose, fun and excitement, and then becomes the dizziness and the fadedness, and then the blacking out or forgetting things and losing whole chunks of time and waking up with a hangover, and none of that is satisfying, and none of that really gets you to your goal. But the wine of the mystic, however, is very different. It's a very different type of intoxication. It's a intoxication of the spirit, of the soul. It's something that lifts you up and that carries you in a way that no substance can, right? And I think this is beautiful. And the mystic will always look for what Omar Khayyam calls wine. Omar Khayyam, or Khayyam, was a Sufi poet, a Persian poet or mystic poet who often wrote about the wine of the mystic. And he calls it the wine of the Christ, after drinking of which no one will ever thirst. And it's interesting that he says the wine of the Christ, because he's talking about the consciousness of Christ, the mindset of Christ, the soul of Christ, right? Which is something that we've been invited to invite into our lives, right? And to accept as a sort of savior and spiritual, how do I say this? Like almost like a spiritual post, right? A place to turn around, a steady pole by which you have a way to move around, or to keep you centered, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And the wine of the Christ, after drinking of which no one will ever thirst. So, Christ says, "Come to me, you who are weary and thirsty and hungry." Those of you who thirst. There's some different verses in the Bible that speak to this particular phrase. And so, the wine of the mystic is the wine of the Christ. And it's not the wine of the Christ as in what you have in communion in church when they give you the little wafer and they give you the little bottle or little cup of the grape juice that symbolizes the wine or the body or the blood of Christ. But the wine of the Christ is the intoxication of the Spirit that comes through with the realization or the acceptance of Christ into your heart, right? The opening of that Spirit and the opening of that reality within yourself becomes an intoxication that can't be matched by anything else. And I just think this is such a beautiful phrase, and I really have been very in tune with, or resonate a lot with this idea of the wine of the mystic. So yeah, just wanted to share a couple thoughts there at the end, but I feel this commentary is just so beautiful. We cover our spirit under our body, our light under a bushel. We never allow the spirit to become conscious of itself. So don't hide your light, don't cover your spirit, and allow yourself to be conscious of yourself. That's the goal here, folks. So hope you enjoyed today's bowl of Saki. I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another bowl of Saki. Love, light, and blessings.